Okay, my name is Randy Rule for those of you who don't know me. And tonight I'm going to go over a little spreadsheet that I made. I originally made this for my own benefit, and then I expanded it a little bit to so that we could look at some other options along with the ones I wanted to look at originally. So basically, to give you a summary of what it's telling you, is it's showing three different examples. The first example down here on the bottom is showing right here, is showing if you just bought Bitcoin and held it. And I run that out for 36 months and show you what would happen based upon some assumptions of what Bitcoin is going to appreciate on a monthly basis. So let me start there and show you what my assumption is here at the top of the page under monthly compounded percent increase in Bitcoin price. Now this is, I've got in here a 5.9% rate. So how did I come up with that? That's something you can change. You can change any of these variables in yellow. So if it's in this yellow section here on the left, you can change these. You can put in any assumption that you feel might be more relevant. I came up with 5.9% because I looked at the monthly compounded rate of price increase for Bitcoin since 2010, the first year after it got started. And I did it month by month. I looked at the price. I put it into the calculator and I came up with about 12.7% average monthly increase on a compounded basis for Bitcoin price. So I decided 5.9%. I just said that's a very conservative number. I can use that number. It's less than half of what it's actually been to date, assuming that it isn't going to appreciate as fast going forward in the future. I have no basis for thinking that it won't appreciate as fast as it has been, but let's just play it conservative, and that's why I came up with 5.9%. So looking down the spreadsheet again to line number 28, the value of the holdings have just bought Bitcoin and held it. Here is based upon buying. I've got up here on the spreadsheet that we're spending $24,000 on mining machines. So what if we had spent the $24,000 just on Bitcoin and held it? All right, so at the end of the first month, we'd have $25,416. At the end of the second month, we'd have $26,916. So I run that out for 36 months. And you can see that I still own, at the end of 36 months, I still own 1.4117647 Bitcoin, but the value in dollars of my holdings has now gone up to $189,000. So I started off with $24,000 and now I have $189,000. And that's at the 5.9% compounded rate. That's pretty good. There's not any investments that I know of that have behaved like this in the past and expected to behave like this in the future. But let's go back again and let's look at the next example right here under line 31. And it says initially purchasing machines and not buying new machines. Okay, so all I'm going to do is I'm going to purchase a number of machines. In this example, I'm going to purchase 12 machines at $2,000 each for a total of $24,000. So based upon that, I run this spreadsheet out and I show what's happening to our income from doing that. The bottom line is the dollar value of the cumulative Bitcoin that we've been able to collect from the output of those mining machines. And so as we run this across, if we bought those 12 machines At the end of 36 months, we still own the 12 machines. We've been moving the output from the machines into our Bitcoin wallet and just collecting it. At this point now, we actually have 2.54 Bitcoins. And Bitcoin, if you look up above, you can see the current price of Bitcoin in line 18 coming across is now at the end of 36 months up to $133,000. Therefore, we have $340,203 is how much we have now, the dollar value of the Bitcoin in our wallet. So this number, 340,000, is a lot more than what we would have if we just bought and held Bitcoin. So that was the first analysis I wanted to see, because if all I had to do was buy Bitcoin, and hold it, well, I'd make 189,000. But if I bought the same number of machines that the Bitcoin that I had bought would buy, all of a sudden now, instead of 189,000, I would make $340,203. That's with the same assumptions all the way through, the same increase in the price of Bitcoin each month and so forth. And so let's go back up and look at some of the assumptions I'm going to make about these machines. Let's see here, hang on. All right, so under this, you can change this. Right now, the price of each machine is $2,000. The percent return per month per machine is 5% in my example. I'm actually getting more than 5%. The least I've ever gotten is 5%, so I used 5% in here to be conservative. But I'm actually getting more than 5% on a monthly basis. And this is percent return per month per machine, not annually, per month. Then I've got a line here, line 6, that says additional capital added per month. So right now I've got that set at 0, because if you had a little extra money each month, if you had $100, if you had $500 that you wanted to put into this, you could then change that 0 to 100 or 500, whatever you want, and you can see what would happen if you added that amount of money every month, just sort of like sometimes you set up a savings program that way. So that will show the long-term effect. It's pretty dramatic towards the end of adding that extra money. This I put in, I wanted to buy 12 machines, so I could change that number to any number I wanted to. I got a fee in here, assuming I'm going to pay 3% of the dollars I spend to get them converted into Bitcoin. So I put that in as a cost. That's because, if you spend $24,000, but you have to spend it from Bitcoin, you had a cost of converting your dollars to Bitcoin in the first place. And that I put in 3% because that's what I charge if I'm doing the transactions. And I charge 3%, not for small transactions. I can't do it for small ones. But if you're talking about $10,000 or more, I can do it for 3%. So I look down here, and the next line, number 9, is total amount charged to credit card. So what is this credit card all about? Okay. So what we've run into with a lot of people we know is that they want to participate in this, but they don't have any cash. They've got their money tied up in other things. They've got school expenses for their kids in college. Their budget is running close to maximum all the time. So they haven't been able to accumulate extra cash somewhere. They still want, the only extra cash they usually have is something they're sticking away for their vacation, and they don't want to invest their vacation money. So what I came up with an example of is almost everyone who has good credit, who has a nice income, has a credit card. And in this case, I'm assuming that somebody has a credit card that they haven't used, that they pay off every month, that has a $25,000 limit on it. And so that's just this assumption. You can put in any numbers that you want to in this example if it's applicable to you or applicable to somebody that you would be talking to about doing this. So at that point, in this case, the 3% added calculates an amount. You see it's white. That means that you can't change that number. You can't even click on that number because it's a formula. And I locked the formulas out so that nobody would mess up the formulas when they got their spreadsheet, because that would make it useless for them. So then the next thing down is I looked on my credit card, and if I took a cash advance, they would charge me 12.99%. So that's what I put in for that. Maybe your credit card is less than that. Maybe your credit card's more than that, but you could put that in if you intend to use a credit card for financing this, as a way of financing this. And I'm going to show you how that works when we get down to the next step. So then I put in 2% because my credit card says I have to pay 2% of the outstanding balance every month. So I put that in. Some people's maybe 3%, some maybe 1%, I don't know. But then I put in the beginning value of Bitcoin. I put in 17,000 because for the last 2 or 3 days, it's been over 17 and under 17 and hovering around that. So these are the inputs. This is what you can change to fit your situation or any what if you want to do. I call them what ifs, and look at different examples. So coming down, we're going to look at this from it will calculate and move down. These are all numbers that you cannot change. They're based upon those yellow numbers that you put in. It will show you that you have 12 machines at the end of month 1 because you bought them at the beginning of month 1. And so the total number of machines owned is still 12. It's showing you your mining income at 5% as a steady, constant number because it's in Bitcoin, and the machines are going to produce about the same amount of Bitcoin every month. So we look at the current price of Bitcoin. We keep track of that in this equation because at the end of month 1, it started out at 17%. And at the end of month 1, it would have risen by 5.9%. So now it's at $18,003. So now it shows you the value of the dollar value of the Bitcoin in your wallet at the end of the first month. So basically, you're going to have from the output of your 12 machines, you're going to have $1,271 worth of Bitcoin in your wallet. Right. So now you're going to pull it. So the next line says the total dollars available to purchase another machine. Okay, so how do we get to that number? We look down to line 21, and here's your credit card interest cost amount. So that credit card is actually costing you in interest $267.59. But you have to pay 2%, in my example, of the outstanding balance. So that number you're actually going to have to pay the credit card company is $494.40. That number, $494.40, is subtracted from the $1,271 to net you $776 in your wallet. So I'm assuming you're going to make your credit card payment out of your wallet. You're going to convert that back to dollars and make your credit card payment. So now we only have $776 in our wallet at the end of month 1 after we paid our credit card bill, right? And if you look down here, you can see what the credit card balance is now. We've reduced the credit card balance by the amount of the payment less the interest, and we've got a monthly net income of $1,003. And I'm keeping track of the net income and the cumulative net income over here, just as a way of showing you what you are reinvesting should you accumulate it and buy new machines. Because that's this example. This example is using the fact that you're going to take the output after you pay for your credit card expense. You're going to take the output and you're going to buy a new machine every time you have enough money to do so. So we look down here. Let's look across the top now, and these calculations calculate out each month the same way. And so at the end of month 2 and the end of month 3, so at the end of month 3, and we look down here and we see under the total dollars available to purchase another machine, we say we now have $2,572 to purchase another machine. So that means that each machine is $2,000 in this example. That means I can buy another machine. So if you'll look at the top of end of month 4, you'll see that machine that I've purchased. I purchased it at the beginning of month 4. And so now I own that machine plus the 12 I had, so now I own 13 machines. So that's the way this thing unfolds, is it goes and I don't have enough in month 5 to buy another machine. At the end of month 5, all of a sudden, now I have, what is it, $2,981, so I can buy another machine at the end of month 6. So let's move this over. And so in month 7, I can buy a machine. Month 8, I can buy a machine. Month 9, 10, 11. All of a sudden, now I have enough. I have $4,569 in my wallet, and I've got the ability to buy 2 machines. So at the end of the first year, I now have 2 machines, and I have 21 machines total. Okay, so my output from those machines is increasing because I have 21 now instead of just 12 at the beginning of the year. So as I go across, you can see on the spreadsheet that you're able to buy 2, 2, 2, 3. Now look at the end of month 16, I got 30 machines. Let's go out a little more. At the end of month 21, I have 57 machines. Now it's really starting to ramp up there. And I'm able to buy 7 machines each month. And my numbers are starting to increase. We get out to the end of month 28. All of a sudden, I've got 200 machines total at the end of month 28. So at 28 is 2 years and 4 months, right? So in 2 years and 4 months, assuming everything works according to this spreadsheet, which there's no guarantees it does, but to me, it's the most rational projection that I could come up with of way of looking at it. We would end up with 200 machines, and basically we'd be generating $100,920 that month in order to buy new machines, which would let us buy 50 new machines that month. So now we got 250 in month 29. Let's run it all the way out to month 36. What's happening? Okay, so now at the end of month 35, I have enough right here with $919,000 in output from the machines in order to buy 459 machines for a total of $1,693. So at 1,693 machines, my output at the end of that month is going to be a total of $1,334,108. Now, you know, this example is a perfect example, let's say, because in normal life, you probably may want to pull some of that money out and spend it on other things as you go, okay? But I'm just saying that if you just set your goals and perform just like this, and Bitcoin, those mining machines kept cranking out the Bitcoin, and Bitcoin appreciated at the rate that I've got in here. This is the scenario. So look at the difference between what's happening here and between what you've got cumulative net income at the end of 36 months. Now that's what you've got totally invested in machines at that point, not in cash, but you are cranking money in at over $1 million a month. So if you didn't buy any more machines, you could assume that you would have an income of over $1 million a month based on the machines you already owned performing the same way they had. And so we started with basically the same amount of money. In this case, we borrowed on a credit card. We paid our credit card down to 17,739 because we're paying the minimum, the 2%. And we've been subtracting our payments the whole time. Our payments have gotten substantially less. They're down to $358, right? And so this is what we're making in income a month at this point, $1,334,272 because of that interest charge. It should be the same as this one right here, except for the interest charge comes off, and that's what lowered it to 272. So anyway, that's our cumulative income for the 36 months. So that's basically how this spreadsheet works. And you can go back and you can play with it. You can say, oh, well, what happens if I only bought one machine? So let's go up here real quick and come here. Let's put in one machine. Okay, and then let's go up to 36 months. And let's look at this. And at 36 months, we would own 76 machines. But you can see it's right here at the end, right? It takes a long while to even be able to buy our first machine if we only own one machine, but then it really starts to accelerate as we get more and more because we have more and more output from the machines, the cumulative output. So even with this example, I'm still made $244,424 total, and I own 76 machines. Whereas with this example and this example, this is what I would have if I would have $15,750 if I only bought $2,000 one machine's worth of Bitcoin, and I would only have $28,350 if I had just taken the output from that one machine the whole time and never bought another one. So I think this gives you a clear idea of what happens if you buy machines using the output from the machines and let it accelerate. And so basically that's really what I wanted to communicate about this worksheet and how to use it. And the only things you need to remember is that when you want to change your example, however you want to change it, you can change the ones in yellow, and the ones in white will change themselves. And so with that, I'm going to go ahead and end the webinar tonight. And if you have any questions, be sure to get back to the person who invited you to the Zoom meeting tonight. And I will be available if they can't answer your question or they're unsure. We can get on a three-way call, and I'll be able to help you. So have fun playing with the spreadsheet and see if you can tailor it to something that you yourself personally could achieve and stick with, and see if that's going to work for you. And I thank you for coming in tonight and taking your time to take a look at this and see what this is all about.
Thank you very much, Randy.
You're welcome. Good night, everyone.
Okay, get back. Get back. Move. Move.